It makes her stop doing stuff. And I had friends growing up whose parents did the flick, and it's, even as a kid, you're just like, yikes, don't touch your kid like that.
It's weird. Yeah, he seems like he was chill about hitting your kid. Totally weird take from like someone who's PhD and like works with people. But also I just think like, do not let your children or do anything that makes you dislike them. It's just like, you're assuming that you're cool, like that the things you think are good, that's not necessarily true, my dude. Like, your kid might be doing things that you dislike, but that makes your kid way better than you. Like, it just seems crazy to me to make that assumption. It's like, you're gonna fuck up if your kid's different from you in any way. You're gonna fuck your kid up by trying to force them to be just like yourself.
Right. That's a great point.
The premise also of like, it's so harsh that makes you dislike them.
Yes, it was like, so harsh.
You mean not like what they're doing or be
not love them.
But like, he encouraged you and like whoever, your partner or whatever, to sit and like have a conversation about like, list all the things that you don't like about your kid and like try to correct them. And it's just like, ew, dude.
You have to let them be a person. It's a person. It's not a
And then there's this whole section where he's like, okay, so look, everyone's like, oh, physical punishment's taboo, but guys, come on, it's not so bad. Here's how you do it. First, you give them a stern look. If they don't respond to the stern look, then a harsh word. And if they don't respond to the harsh word, then you do the flick. But then it's like, the whole premise is like, some kids need more discipline. So the next logical thing is like, well, what if the kid doesn't respond to the flick? And he basically leaves it open. It's like a ... It's like, okay, well then, like, as a parent reading this, would I be like, oh, I guess the next thing I'd have to do is like get my belt out. Like, he hit the foundation of the argument, I think, would lead people down a not good path. It's like, you got to just keep getting tougher until they respond.
It's like, he obviously has an issue with like more permissive style parenting, but like, it's like he assumes that if you don't like smack or hit your kid, you just are letting your kid do whatever they want, and they're little assholes. It's like, you can still parent without hitting. I don't know. It was just so weird that it's like he built it up like that was.
He had this premise of like, parents are afraid to not be friends with their children, and like that their children won't like them, so they just let them do whatever they want. And actually, that's bad for kids. It's like, if that were, I don't agree with your premise that like people who don't hit their kids are extremely permissive because they need the child's friendship.
I don't need my child.
Winding path.
Yeah, it just was so, and also he said a bunch of shit. Oh, I wrote this down, that he said, like, he was talking about kids sharing, which it was actually kind of funny because he's like, if they can't share, they won't have any friends, so you got to correct it. But he says it's something like age 3, they should be able to share, won't have kids, won't have any they won't be friends with other kids. But like, I know because I have a kid and have been like reading more about child development that like, that skill is not actually there till 4 years of age. Like, they're not actually really capable of sharing. So like, it's just, he's like telling you to beat a kid for something that they're like not able to do yet, but will be in a year if you just like help them and then wait. Like, I don't know. It just was like,
or like read a proper book.
Yeah, dude. Come on.
Also, I was wondering what you two, especially Sarah and Claire, thought about the story where he puts his friend's child to bed. Do you know the story that I'm talking about?
Wait, remind me what happens.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's this crazy story where he's like, I do this thing with my friends called child sharing, where sometimes one couple goes out to dinner and they leave all 5 kids at our house. And then sometimes we go out to dinner, we leave all 5 kids at the other house. And he's like, this one family, 4 of the kids went down easy. And the 5th kid, oh boy, he did not want to go to bed. So I said to him, lie down or I will lay you down. And he does this whole thing.
Yeah,
it's like
several
hours overnight where he's pushing the child down. It's a 2-year-old kid. He like physically holds him down. And he even says at one point, I got to find the quote because it's so crazy.
Yeah. Well, from what you're saying, if he did that to my kid, I would like need to murder him. Like, I don't know.
I think I would call the police.
Yeah.
Like, that sounds pretty much like child 2 years old also.
Like,
the kid doesn't know
And
what's
the other
going
thing
on.
is, like, yeah, he's like, lie down, monster. He struggled mightily, but ineffectually. I was, after all, he was, after all, only 1/10 my size. I could take him with one hand. So I kept him down and spoke calmly to him. He started to relax. I removed my hand. He promptly got to his feet. The kid had spirit. I lifted him up, laid him back down again. And then later, the kid's dad comes home and says, how was the kid? Good, I said, no problem at all. He's asleep right now. Did he get up, said his father. No, I said. He slept the whole time.
Psychotic.
Dad looked at me. He wanted to know, but he didn't ask, and I didn't tell. Isn't that creepy?
No, that it is creepy. That's crazy.
It's awful. I hate it. He tortured a kid.
Oh man.
And then the kid got tired from being physically abused.
Yeah.
And then the dad was like, what
Ate
happened?
everything.
And they were like, Dad's secret.
It's also
my
just
little
weird
secret.
because, like, I'm a parent now, but like, I can even remember babysitting, having a kid having trouble going to sleep, but like, I didn't need to physically hold them down. Like, I can remember once telling this little girl, I just like would be like, this is a secret, okay? Don't tell anybody we're doing this, but this is really going to help you go to sleep, and giving her an ice cube, and that like fucking worked because you know what I mean? Like, you don't have, the idea that you'd have to do that is,
Don't
a
tell
little bit
kids
of-
you have
yeah.
secrets between them.
oh, you're right. You're right. That
Adults
would be
and
bad.
children should never have secrets.
Well, it was because I didn't care that it wasn't a real
But
secret.
yeah, you were also a kid yourself.
It was
It's
the
interesting,
90s, Sabrina. You could have secrets.
I'm just, especially if you're babysitting children, I'm just warning everyone out there.
No,
Don't
that's
be like, this
Is
is
this
our
the-
little secret.
very good advice. Yeah. Not good for the kid to have to ever keep a secret.
Yeah.
Well, and also then it makes it seem like you're abusing them.
Absolutely.
certainly. But
double scary.
Yeah. So this is like really where I was like, oh my god, I hate the things this guy is saying now. It's actually disturbing to me. These
It becomes more disturbing, his like insistence on hurting children when you later learn that his daughter has like juvenile arthritis and is in constant pain. It's like, don't fucking touch her. Jesus Christ. And I don't know that he did. Maybe he's like, since you're in constant pain, I won't hit you. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, he did say his daughter responded more to the stern look, and then his son, who he like barely mentions in the whole book, like one time his son comes up. I think he's the one that needed the pinch.
Yeah.
I'm surprised because the son is a boy, so
Seems
I
like
just
the
couldn't
being
imagine.
willful should be a good thing for the boy. I mean,
Yeah.
don't, you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he does
going
have that
on?
whole fun chapter on how like men talk back to their teachers because they're trying to figure out if there's a real authority there. So actually, it's a good thing. And then they go out and do donuts. That's a whole chapter of like how cool it is that boys do that. And when you really think about it, it's actually pretty neat.
All right. Let's keep going. The freak is the next one. 6. We're on 6. Set your house in perfect order before you criticize the world.
Seems like we have nothing to say. Do you
I
want
have
to
nothing
skip to the
I
next
can
one?
I can skip
Yeah,
this one.
I
I have
mean-
nothing to say. Is this got more God stuff? I don't remember.
Well, I think it's just he rephrased those in glass houses shouldn't throw stones.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's
Good one, Jordan. Okay, then we have
And it's just so antithetical to what we do here that maybe we should just
Yeah, let's just skip
It's
it
best
because
for us
we're
to
doing.
skip.
That's exactly what we're doing. Right.
Okay, then we have
Yeah.
pursue what is meaningful, not what is expedient. Yeah. Duh.
so essentially. Don't just write a Quora response. Write a full book.
This is the one with a lot of Cain and Abel, which is again where I was like, my God, I do not care. Stop talking so much
Really
about
hard to
this
pay attention.
story. It's like probably like a few pages in the Bible, and he has like fucking 2,000 words on it. I'm like, stop.
I'd be interested. Does he have a brother?
Good question. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Do you need me? What? Why do you need to know?
Is he Cain or
Because
Abel?
he's so obsessed with the story of Cain and Abel. Just want to know if it's like he feels a connection to the loser brother.
Like he wants to murder his brother and then murder more people. This was the chapter where he was like talking. Is this the chapter where he talked about like people like that murder schools. This is why they do it. Like, this is why.
Oh, yeah. You know, before this book, I really didn't ever think I would know what Columbine shooters had written in their manifesto. But thanks to this book, I know because he's quoting them. Don't fucking quote mass shooters. First of all, don't publicize it. Second of all, they don't have anything good to say to the world. Like, don't do that.
And
Well,
it's like,
Clara, in his defense,
Get that?
he was looking for big chunks of space to take up with quotes.
he could have posted more. I also think that pretty sure the Columbine shooters are like also like very racist and sexist and everything else, but he didn't like bring up those parts. He was just like, man, they just thought they were just upset. They didn't think life was worth living. So they thought, why not take it? Like, that was his point. It was like, they had a lot more stuff going on.
Yeah.
It was a lot more,
Yeah,
even more
yeah.
fucked up than you're making it. You're just using this for your point.
You're just cherry picking the good parts of the,
Good parts
manifesto.
of the manifesto. Yeah, exactly. Oh boy. I could not really tell you what the takeaway should have been from that. I just remember it was a lot about people being murdered because they were sad about life. I think it was, yeah, that's all I can tell you.
Yeah.
All right, move on.
Okay. Tell the truth or at least don't lie. Yeah. Are we good?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
fine with that one.
We got it. Yep. Thank you, Jordan.
We
Okay.
can skip that one.
Assume that the person you are listening to might know something you don't. This is where he's making a last gasp pitch for us to continue reading the book.
It gets pretty juicy in this
This should be
chapter.
rule 2 if you want us to keep.
Yeah.
This is a crazy chapter.
yes.
He basically, throughout the book, he sprinkles in like little anecdotes about his like psychology clients, and he's like, it's almost like I shouldn't be saying this, but I changed the name, so it's okay. But I get some real Looney Tunes in my office, and one of them is this woman. We'll call her Miss S. And one time she came in with a resume. It was 50 pages long. It's like, that's a story he tells at dinner parties. Like,
Right,
he couldn't
right.
wait to come home and tell his wife.
Yeah.
And it's,
I mean,
it
but
has no place in this book.
That like fact is kind of funny, but then like he goes on to basically be like, and she said she was raped, and I was like, were you really? And it was just like, wait,
Yes.
what? What is going on here?
Yeah, hold on.
That is the point of the Miss S story, is like he comes back to it pages later and he's like, by the way, it's really hard to know if you were raped. And, I ask any woman, were you not? It's a hydra. He calls it a hydra. Which,
Like the Marvel antithesis, or is it something else?
I think like in Greek mythology, like the multi-headed, like when you cut off one head, it replaces itself with two more heads. Like, it's just like, in most cases, it's just too convoluted to ever know. And the more you think about it, the more confused you are. That's really his point. He's like, so I couldn't help her.
It was like,
I don't know. The more we thought about it, the more confused we both were.
so she went her separate way. And it was just like, you sound like a horrible like psychologist. Like, why is anybody meeting with you? My God.
That the
It's a
Greek thing
strange
makes
point.
more sense. I was thinking it was the terrorist organization and Marvel, which nothing in the book really made sense, so I fit that in. I was like, okay, sure, it's Hydra.
In the same part where he's talking about like, oh, was she raped? He goes and like makes some digs at therapists where he's like, there are all these therapists that just like dig and suggest and bias and tilt until you are like, wait, but I was raped. Like, I was just like, what is he talking about? Like, who are all these therapists that he thinks are like convincing people who weren't raped that they were raped? Like, what is he talking about?
It's a very dangerous thing to say. Like, there's some sort of conspiracy among people to,
because it's like, I'm pretty sure
count more rapes than really happened.
What's
like,
probably happening is that like people were like abused or something happened and they're like in denial about it and like trying to deal with the trauma and like of the issue, and the therapists are helping them with that. It doesn't mean that they're biasing into. I don't know. I just was like, this just seems so fucked up.
It was a
Right.
strange. I think there's probably a conversation to have here.